Hello everyone, welcome to Tech Sharmit. In this session, we will discuss another example for subquery. In our previous session, we were used to fetch the data, or you can say we were using the subquery in order to select the data and also in order to filter the data in where clause, right? But this time we are going to use subquery in order to use it for the replacement of null values, or in easier way you can say with the help of subquery we will handle the null values. Okay, so to explain this scenario, what I will do, I will show you some table with their data, and then we'll understand the requirement again, because requirement is very important, and according to our requirement we will write the query. Clear? So let's see what we have today. So for that I am running one query here, command here, strSQL. Now I will show you the table which we are going to use for the demo purpose. So running one query, normal query, select star from Sharmit1, which is my library name, slash student, which is my table name. If I hit enter here, you can see it is printing student ID as well as student name. But here you can see there is one record for ID 106 where student name is not available. And we, at the time of printing all data for these students, we don't want to show such null symbols, right? Instead of null, either we can put some default value like student name is missing or student name is not available, something like NA we can show, right? Not applicable, not available. So these things should be printed instead of null. For now we have only these much of record, right? But it could be possible that there are multiple rows, multiple thousand record here, right? So it should work for all the record, not for this only, not only for this 106. Okay, so this thing we will achieve with the help of subquery, scalar subquery. Now what is a scalar subquery? Scalar subquery is a query which returns only one single value. Okay, fine. Now as we have discussed, like if there is name, it should show that name only. Let's say if we are printing from top, so it should print first John, then Jane, then Michael, Rahul, Vivek. And if there is null, in that case it should pick any default value. It should replace this null with some default value, then again it should go, and if there is name available, it should show name. Okay, so let's see how we will fetch this default value. So for this default value, I have already created one table. Select star from Sharmit1 slash default table. So this is default table. Here I have stored one default value as a string, which is student name and question mark, because this string will show that yes, something is missing from this particular location. So I select this default value. You can select any default value, like default student name is missing, NA, it is up to you, right? But you can store, you can create one single table with single column and just insert this string. Okay, I'm assuming that you know all the basic stuff because these things we have already discussed, and this entire SQL series in sequence. So if you are not following the sequence, I would recommend you to go and follow the sequence. Then it would be much easier for you to understand the concepts. Okay, because there we have discussed already, like how to create table, how to pass the data type, and every basic thing, right? So for now, we are just using this table with one column and default value as student name question mark. Fine. So we got the understand. We got the requirement, like we should print only we should print name. If name is not available, in this case we can print default value. So let's see how we can write this query with the help of subquery. So for that, firstly I will write select, then I will select the column which I want to print. So I want to print student ID, then comma, and then second value I want to uh, print but with null value handling, right? So for that I will run one function which is call esc coalesce. Okay, so this is my function, and this function we have already covered in our previous session at the time of of the sequence of functions. So from there you can learn. Now this function, what this function will do, it will take two arguments. So my first argument is the student name, because this is our requirement. If student name is available, it should print student name. If not, in that case it should pick the value from subquery. So here I will write the subqueries, which is select, and here I will write default value. I guess this is my column name. Yeah, default value from, and my table name is default table, and then simply put two parentheses. One is for this query and one is for the coalesce function. From which table? This data is coming from student table, so I will write student. So let's see if it works. Yes, it is working. So what we have got in place of null, we got the default value, which is student name question mark. Okay, so if you look at the query again, what we are doing, we are selecting the student ID. It is up to you, like if you want to select few more column. As of now we have only two column in that table, right? But it might be possible that we have multiple columns, so you can select those column. And to handle the null value, we are using coalesce function with subquery. This is my subquery. So coalesce function will take two arguments. First one is the normal value. If it is available, it will print that value only, and if it is not available, in that case it will take the value from the subquery, and then from student. Okay, so this is how we can write the subquery in order to replace null value with a default value. Now, as I have already told you many times, that whenever we are dealing with subquery, there is always a two part. So first part, you can say it is an internal subquery or inner subquery, and then this is our outer query. Inner query or outer query, you can say inner query or outer query. Okay, and as we are saying that this is a scalar subquery. Why? Because it is returning only single value, correct? So if any subquery is returning only single value, in that case we will say that this is a scalar subquery. Clear? So what we have learned in this session, we have learned how we can replace the null value with any particular default value with the help of subquery. Now what is subquery? That thing we have already covered in the sequence sessions, like how we can write the query, and whenever we are writing query inside a query, then that query is known as subquery. Okay, fine. Now similarly, if what is the advantage of using this subquery? Like let's say if in future days your default values got changed. Instead of student name question mark, it is changed, we are supposed to change it to NA or data missing, something like that. Okay, so in that case there is no need to like we are not doing any hard coded thing, right? So we can directly go into this default table and we can update that data, and then whenever we are using this query, so it will automatically reflect, because now the table column default value is updated. Okay, fine. Now same thing if you would like to use inside sqlrpgle program, so I will give you a quick review for that. So like we have discussed this program many times, right? And we are aware that how to create cursor and all. So only thing you need to change is this portion. So in place of this, you can write your query from this query subquery. Okay, you can directly copy it, and when we are printing the values, so just make sure that if you are selecting two values from here, then your host variable or host data structure should contain only those values. Means you can define column host variable as per your data selection. Okay, fine. So after that you can do the basic validation like we always do. Check for the end file, check for the not valid condition. If everything is okay, then you can print your output. So SQL RPGL program we have learned, right? We know all the basic stuff about that. If you are not aware, you can just go through the previous sessions, because for now we are just moving forward with the concept of subqueries. Okay, so far we have covered three a part of subqueries, and moving forward we will come up with some more sessions related to that. So yeah, that's all for this session. I hope it is clear to all of you. In the next session, we will discuss few more things. So thank you for watching Tech Sharmit.